Hello, welcome back to our channel. Today, I want to share with you a story that will completely change the way you look at patience, perseverance, and the silent strength that comes from waiting for the right time. In a quiet town by the river, where cobblestone streets echo with the footsteps of children and vendors, there lived an old man named Elias. People in the town simply called him the lamp maker. For more than 50 years, Elias had been shaping lamps with his hands. Lamps of brass, copper, iron, and sometimes even wood. His tiny workshop stood at the corner of the marketplace, filled with a faint smell of oil, metal dust, and the soft glow of unfinished lamps waiting to shine. At first glance, there was nothing special about Elias. His back was slightly bent from years of work. His hair was white, and his hands were wrinkled. But when he spoke, his voice carried the warmth of a flame. And when he worked, his eyes glowed brighter than the lamps he crafted. Every day, Elias would sit at his bench from sunrise until sunset. His hammer tapped with rhythm, his file scraped, and his brush polished each lamp until it gleamed. He believed in something that most people around him had forgotten. The purpose of a lamp was not just to give light, but to give hope. The town that forgot its light. Years ago, the town had no electricity. People relied on oil lamps to light their homes. Elias's lamps burned through nights of storms, weddings, funerals, and countless ordinary evenings. But as time passed, electricity came. Bright electric bulbs filled the houses. Street lamps lit up the market. And slowly, Elias's work was forgotten. Why buy an old-fashioned lamp, people said, when you can flip a switch and have brighter light instantly? Elias heard these words many times, yet he never closed the shop. He kept making lamps. He believed someone, somewhere, still needed them. Children teased him, calling him the man who makes useless things. Some shopkeepers mocked him gently. Elias, you're too stubborn. Join the modern world. But Elias smiled. A lamp is more than light, he would reply. It carries a soul, a story, and sometimes a miracle. The students visit. One winter evening, as Elias worked in his shop, a young student named Aaron walked in. Aaron was poor, his clothes worn, his eyes tired. He had been studying at the town's small school, but was struggling to keep up. "Sir," Aaron said hesitantly, "I need a lamp, a cheap one. I can't study at night. My family cannot afford electricity bills." Elias looked at the boy and smiled. He went to the back of his shop and brought out a simple, small lamp. "This one is yours," he said, handing it over. "But I have no money," Aaron whispered. "Then pay me with your dreams," Elias replied. "One day, when you succeed, remember this lamp and the old man who made it." The boy's eyes watered. He thanked Elias and left. That night, under the gentle glow of Elias's lamp, Aaron studied. He studied every night, no matter how tired or hungry he was. And slowly his grades improved. Years passed. Aaron became one of the best students in his school. Later, he won a scholarship to the city, studied medicine, and became a doctor, all because an old man gave him a lamp when he had none. The festival of darkness. Time flowed like the river, and Elias grew older. His hands trembled, his steps slowed, but he continued to work. Most people ignored him, but once a year, during the town's autumn festival, his lamps decorated the square. One year, a great storm struck during the festival. Lightning destroyed the electric transformers. The whole town fell into darkness. Panic spread. Children cried. Stalls closed, and people stumbled on the streets. But then, one by one, lamps flickered. Oil lamps. Elias had given them to shopkeepers long ago, as gifts they never used. Now, they became the only source of light. Soon, the entire marketplace glowed with Elias's lamps. their warm golden flames pushing back the darkness. That night, people remembered something important. Electricity could fail, but a simple lamp made with love and persistence could save them. The mayor himself visited Elias the next morning. "Old friend," he said, "we have forgotten your work. But last night you reminded us that true light never loses its purpose." The lamp maker's secret. Elias continued working, even when he was past 70. When people asked why, he said, "Every lamp I make is like a seed. I do not know where it will be planted or when it will be needed, but I believe one day someone in darkness will find it and it will change their life." He told stories of how one lamp had traveled across the mountains with a merchant, lighting his path and saving him from wolves. Another had sat in a widow's home, comforting her through lonely nights. Each lamp, Elias believed, carried a destiny. The return of the doctor. One summer afternoon, when Elias was almost too weak to work, a man in a fine coat entered his shop. His face was familiar, but Elias could not place it. "Do you remember me?" the man asked softly. It was Aaron, the boy who once studied on the glow of Elias's gift. Now a successful doctor, he had returned to thank the man who lit his path. "Because of your lamp," Aaron said, "I had the courage to keep going. Today I heal people's lives, but all began with the light you gave me." Tears filled Elias's eyes. He placed his trembling hand on Aaron's shoulder. "Then my work was never wasted," he whispered. Hashtag the final lamp. As Elias's health declined, he began crafting one last lamp. It was not the biggest or most beautiful, but it was special. On its base, he engraved words. Asterisk, even the smallest light can guide someone through the darkest night. Asterisk, when Elias passed away, the townspeople lit the final lamp during his funeral. Its glow filled the square, and everyone remembered how one man's persistence had given light to generations. Aaron took the lamp and placed it in his clinic. Every patient who entered saw it, and when they asked about it, Aaron told Elias' story, a story of persistence, purpose, and how even one lamp could change the world. Hashtag moral of the story. Persistence is not about stubbornness. It is about believing in your purpose, even when the world no longer sees its value. The old lamp maker refused to quit, not because he ignored change, but because he understood something deeper. The world will always need light. Your talent, your kindness, your hard work, these are your lamps. Even if no one notices today, do not stop creating them. One day, someone in darkness will find your light, and it will guide them to a brighter future. Be like Elias, the old lamp maker. Work with purpose, persist with love, and trust that your light will shine even long after you are gone.